Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a rock slide in Knott County left more than 15,000 people without water yesterday. And we take you to Leslie County, where a large house fire destroyed one home and led to damage to several other buildings, including the county's health department. Plus, in Perry County, prosecutors have filed paperwork to seek the death penalty for the suspect of a 2019 Hazard murder.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. The time is 6:31 on January 17th. I'm Madison Pergram, and thank you for joining us on Mountain News This Morning. On this Friday, grab your cup of coffee, get ready. It's a little chilly outside. Just warning you. Let's go to Brandon Robinson. I just give it to him. He'll do the rest since he says I don't listen to the weather.
So
it's chilly is all I got to say.
You don't know what the temperatures are right now?
42.
Not right now, it's not.
20 something.
There you go.
Like I said, I do the news, you do the weather.
That's right. You're in the ballpark, but you are right on one thing. It is chilly this morning. Let's take a look at current conditions across the region. And we're looking at Buffalo Mountain, and it's looking pretty good up there this morning. Here's the thing. No moisture, except for maybe a little frost on the windshields. But again, it's just cold. It's looking at 25 there. And at Moorhead, Jackson, Hazard, Pikeville now, and in Wise, 24 actually our new cold spot in Irvin. 32 in Jacksboro is our warm spot. Coffee meter, a little extra bordering on that max warming needed there across the region this morning. You'll need that for sure next week. And as we look at the 12-hour planner, we're going to see temperatures slowly climb today. It's not on there, but right around 4 o'clock, we should get to right around 42. And then after that, things start to drop as we head into the nighttime hours. I'll have the extended forecast coming up here in just a little bit. Madison.
Thank you, Brandon. Well, travelers on Kentucky 15 in Knott County were slowed down yesterday afternoon as a rock slide closed the road for several hours. The cleaned up process was aided by B&W Coal, and they sent a large loader. However, the boulders also damaged a water line that ran into Letcher County, leaving around 15,000 people without water.
It was so big that, it would took us probably days to move it with the equipment we have.
We probably lost somewhere around 600,000 to 700,000 gallons of water.
Now, crews worked overnight to fix the water line, and Knott County Water and Sewer tells us the water line is now fixed, but water will be slowly returned back on to make sure there are no other problems. And we are learning more about a fire that destroyed one home, several damaged another, and ruined the exteriors of 2 more in Leslie County yesterday. Our Connor James was there throughout the evening as crews monitored the fire and put out remaining hot spots.
Firefighters tell me the home where the fire initially happened went up in flames so fast. That's what caused the damage to the homes on both sides. Thankfully, one of those homes was just damaged in the garage. The other had exterior damage, but no internal damage. And there was also some damage across the street due to the sheer intensity of the fire to the health department. They had some shingles there melt. Smoke filled the downtown Hyden air as flames tore through homes on Hickory Street.
The flames were just humongous. You could see black smoke from up in town. And
Joey Jeffers' girlfriend lives only 2 houses from the blaze. He's thankful the families are okay.
yeah, I was worried about it, and I was worried about the other places around here too, but firefighters and everybody had it took care of from what I can tell.
As firefighters worked to keep the flames from spreading further, amid that chaos, a roof caved in on one of the firefighters.
I think he's going to be okay. They took him to the hospital, and I think he's going to be okay. Brick
walls are all that remain standing at the home where the fire happened, and for firefighters in this small community, fighting this blaze hit too close to home.
A very dear friend, very close friend, they all are. Very close friends of mine, and it broke my heart. I couldn't hold it in.
Throughout the evening, firefighters continued to put out hot spots and salvage whatever memories they could from the homes. If there is a silver lining to really any of this, I'm told by the firefighters here that both of the families did have fire insurance and are expected to be covered in that regards. I'm in Leslie County, Connor James, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, crews for all 6 Leslie County fire departments responded, and they also had help from Hazard and Avawan fire departments. The cause of the fire is not known at this time. And soon work will begin to renovate the old Grand Hotel in downtown Hazard. More than 4 years ago, a fire destroyed much of the building, And a disagreement on how to move on during that time between the landowner and city left its future uncertain. Within the past few days, the new city administration and owner reached an agreement. A lawsuit is being dismissed and work will begin in hopes to return to its old storefront. We'll have much more on those developments later today. And investigators in Rockcastle County believe they may have a serial arsonist. Firefighters say they responded to 3 fires all on the same street. Each appears suspicious, and the first happened on January 2nd, then another on the 8th, and the most recent was on Wednesday. People who live on Davis Street fear their homes could be next.
Because, a lot of us are afraid for our lives. A lot of us are afraid, it could be one of us next. And the fact that they've hit a trailer with a mother and daughter, it's ridiculous.
Chief Brian Carter says at least one of the victims got a message through a texting app saying, quote, "You are next." So far, police have not released any details about a possible suspect. And meanwhile, the man accused of shooting a Leslie County deputy is behind bars this morning. Police booked William Mosley into the Leslie County Detention Center late Wednesday night. Here's a picture of him, and Mosley faces first-degree assault and wanton endangerment charges, among others. Now, state police say he shot Deputy Shane Wilson in the hand last weekend. And investigators say he also gave him a false name. Joseph Lawson and Tyler France were also arrested after the shooting happened, and both remain in jail at this time, and they do not currently face charges related to the shooting. An Letcher County shooting case is now in the hands of a grand jury. Police say Bobby Combs met up with 2 men who thought Combs was bringing them marijuana. Instead, the men claimed he pulled out a shotgun and demanded $50. That is when one of the other men pulled out a pistol and said Combs started shooting at them. Combs faces assault, robbery, and drug charges. The grand jury will decide whether to indict him. In 1 week from Monday, a retrial will begin in a Floyd County murder case. A few weeks ago, the Kentucky Supreme Court ordered a new trial for Barry Hall. In 2012, a jury convicted him for the shooting deaths of Alan Tackett and his wife Lisa. The state's high court ruled pictures used during the trial were not needed. And prosecutors will seek the death penalty in a Hazard murder. Yesterday, they filed paperwork to try it as a capital punishment case. Police say Anthony Lewis killed Marlena Holland Hurt last year. In July, they say he beat and stabbed Holland before leaving her dead in Bobby Davis Park. A trial date is set for 1 month from today. And a man who once lived in eastern Kentucky could spend life in prison for sexually abusing children while in Cambodia. Prosecutors say Mickey Rife lived there from 2012 to 2018. 2 girls came forward and said Rife touched them under their clothes when both were under 12 years old. He pleaded guilty in federal court yesterday, and sentencing is scheduled for May 27th. And a federal jury convicted a Laurel County man on federal meth charges yesterday. Timmy Fields faces anywhere from 25 years to life in prison. He did have prior drug and trafficking controlled substance charges, and the jury found him guilty of possessing meth with intent to distribute. Sentencing is scheduled for May 8th. And Kentucky's Senate president is predicting lawmakers will try to modify the pardon process. It's in response to a lot of blowback to former Governor Matt Bevin's last-minute pardons and commutations. They included people convicted of murder and rape. Now, Senate President Robert Stivers is suggesting there should be a pardons commission. The group would make recommendations to the governor. Lawmakers have also introduced a few bills that would limit a governor's pardon powers. Also up for consideration, Senate Bill 3, an act that would move all Kentucky elections to even-numbered years. That includes several offices, including Governor, Secretary of State, and Attorney General. Since 1895, Kentucky has elected its constitutional officers in odd-number years. If passed, the change would begin in 2028. The bill will next head to the House for a vote. This is not the first time this amendment has been introduced. Similar bills were on the table back in 2018, with one passing in the Senate, but not the full House.
Satellite radar this morning showing the clouds starting to build back in after some clear skies early last night. That led to some frost in some areas, so be aware of that this morning as you head out the door. Temperatures cold, down below freezing everywhere this morning now. 24 Irvin, 31 Middlesboro, and it's just a chilly start to the day. Your out the door forecast, we are going to see temperatures that only get to right around 42 today, right around 4 o'clock. So not a lot of warmth today, but compared to what we'll see later this weekend, it's going to feel like a heat wave. Madison.
Thank you, Brandon, and thank you for joining Mountain News this morning. Here's a look at what's ahead. For the first time in history, the Federal Drug Administration may decide to recognize any medicinal value in CBD products.